Today on Dr. Phil, did this mom abandon her family?
I did not kick you out. They chose to leave. I feel they abandoned me.
They've barely spoken in 12 years.
How do you sleep at night?
Do you really think this is the time to attack this woman?
But at this reunion,
I have never seen such self-righteous right fighters in my life.
they're not afraid to speak their minds.
I want to know if there's a mental problem.
It could be genetic, so you could all be nutso. Let's do it. Why don't we stop all the drama, stop all the fighting, and let's go get you better.
Here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, free. Take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phill. Okay, now they were a typical all-American family. A mom and dad who loved one another and 4 children who were thick as thieves. Now, life was good, or was it? Now, no one in this family can seem to agree. The divide started the day Mom decided to divorce Dad. Take a look.
My parents divorced 12 years ago. My mom abandoned me and my siblings. My dad was a great dad growing up, and I didn't think my parents would get divorced. I didn't think their marriage was really in trouble.
When my husband drank, he was very belligerent, very violent. One night, he was urinating in the hallway because he was so drunk he thought he was in the bathroom. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. So I went to the courthouse and I filed the restraining order to safely get him out of the house.
An emergency order of protection is for when your life is in danger, and that wasn't the case. My dad was very shocked and crying when he came and told me about it. I was crying, I was upset. Our whole life just got turned upside down for no reason. It was a huge shock to all of us.
The children should not have been surprised after everything they had seen and witnessed at the house. Carlin encouraged me to leave him. Carlin had even asked me, why do you stay married to him? So I don't know why she, of all other children, would have turned her back on me.
My brothers and I testified in the hearing on my dad's behalf because we did not see or witness any signs of physical abuse in our home. My sister Alyssa took my mother's side during the hearing. I had never seen my mother this way before. I never had seen her so hateful in my life. Shortly after I was at work, my mom called me and told me I needed to come get all my stuff. It was sitting outside. When I pulled up to my mom's house, everything that I had there was in the driveway.
This is the house that I grew up in when she threw me out of the house. My mom threw all my stuff out. It was all sitting right up there by the garage, by the bushes.
When my children found out that I had filed a restraining order, they came to the house while I was at work and took a lot of furniture and TV. I was very angry. I could not believe they felt they had to sneak in behind my back and steal it. I was so upset that I went ahead then and changed the locks on the door and changed the code to open the garage door. I was afraid they'd come steal me blind while I was at work.
I don't know how a mom can throw her kids out of the house.
I was devastated when the kids left and sided with him. They never gave me a chance to explain my side. They did not phone me. They did not call to ask any questions. It was just almost like they dropped off the face of the earth.
She hates us because we have a relationship with our father, and I do not understand how a mom can do that to her kids.
Now, Carlin says she lives 5 miles from her mother, but they have barely spoken or seen one another in 12 years. Now, Jody's youngest daughter, Alyssa, tells a completely different story of who caused this family's drama.
I'd blame Carlin for destroying my family. She tore it all apart, ripped it up into pieces. My father was the start of it, but I think she's the one that kept it going. Carlin is probably the most manipulative person I know. Pretty evil. She is the one that always held the connection with all of us siblings. So however she reacted, she wanted the boys to react the same way. I don't know why they did it this way. I think it was wrong. I was civil with them through the divorce, with all of them, including my father. And every time I would say, why don't you talk to Mom? They flat out would just drop it. I have said I am an only child because I haven't talked to them in over 10 years. It makes me upset that they've done this to my mother. She doesn't deserve it. She was the one that was always there. She was a great mom, and all of a sudden they just turned on her. With Carlin being kind of the ringleader, I could see my brothers wanting to maybe reach out. If Carlin knew they would get an earful. Why stick your whole body in a piranha tank? If you don't do something that she approves of, be ready to feel her wrath.
Okay, so you two haven't seen each other in quite some time.
Correct.
How long?
Probably about 12 and a half years.
Really? And you live 5 miles away?
Mm-hmm.
Look, why are we here today? What do you want from me?
I am hoping to get some answers of why I feel they abandoned me. I did not kick you out. I did not move. I did not change my phone number. They made it very clear to Alyssa and other family members, everyone in my whole entire family, they do not have any communication with.
Okay, so you want to prove up your victim
No,
role?
No. I want to know why.
You want to prove up your victim role. You said, I want to know why they abandoned me. I didn't abandon them. They abandoned me, and I want to prove that up.
I did not kick them out of the house. They chose to leave.
You can't keep changing the subject.
Okay.
I ask you a question, and you change the subject and give a non-responsive, not even answer, just a complete different comment. Now, you're here for a reason. You want something from me. I'm not going to come in here and just let people kind of cross-talk. I want to know why you're really here.
I would like to resolve the issue with my children. I've missed them.
Now, do you want to resolve or do you want to be right?
No, I want to resolve it.
And how about you?
I think it would be nice to bury the hatchet, I guess. You know, I mean, I was civil with all of them for the first year.
I didn't
when
ask you
everything
to
happened.
defend yourself. I asked you what you wanted. Listen,
want
because I've read
answers.
everything you guys have said, and I have never seen such a bunch of sanctimonious, self-righteous right fighters in my life. And I didn't ask you to defend yourself. I said, how about you? Do you want to resolve it?
I do.
You said two words about resolving it. Said, now, as for me, really?
I do want to resolve it. I do.
Why?
I feel that I've missed out on things in their life. I feel that they've missed out on our life. I mean, you know, we have so many family events and activities, and they're not part of them.
Does it really matter who's right?
No.
Well, why have you been fighting for 12 years to be right? I mean, think about that. What do you want? Why are you here?
I want to know how a mom can abandon 3 out of her 4 children. How you can do that to your kids, how you can drive by your daughter's house. I don't even know if it's fixable.
How sounds like an indictment. Because you're saying, how could she do that? How bad a mother could you be? You don't believe you did anything to justify being cut off by your mother, being an outcast, do you?
I don't think so.
Okay, then why did you say that? You're not really asking for an answer to that. What you're saying is indict her. She's a bad mother. She backed out. She turned her back, dumped us kids, and I want that straightened up.
That's true. When I called her a year ago, she said, I said, Mom, she said, who is this? I said, your daughter, Carlin. She calls me back. I asked her for some photos. She called me back a couple of days later, said, Carlin, this is Jody. First of all, how did you get my number? After your daughter called
You're telling me this because why?
That's not a normal response for a mom.
Okay, I didn't ask you if it was normal or not. I asked you why you're telling me this. What is your desired result?
My desired result is to just get an understanding of what did we do to deserve
Why are you
this?
telling me this?
Because I always want your opinion. Whenever something happens, I always want to know, what would Dr. Phill have to say about this? Like, this isn't normal for a mom to treat her kids this way.
Okay, so you already know that it's not normal, so you don't need me to tell you that. You just want me to join you.
I want to know if there's a mental problem or something going on. Okay.
That's not the case.
I don't have a mental problem.
Well, if she is, it could be genetic.
Possibly.
So you could all be nutso.
Well, then take the whole family.
Well, we'll take you all out back. All right. Look, I'm here for a reason.
And I want to know if it's fixable.
Yes.
Okay.
It's fixable if you're fixable. If you're fixable, if you're fixable. If you decide that you're tired of being right and you want to be happy. All right, let's take a break. Mom thinks the real problem is that Carlin is just jealous of Alyssa, who she calls her shining star. We'll be right back.
Alyssa is my shining star. It makes me angry that they've abandoned Alyssa. She really did nothing to deserve any of this. Carlin and Alyssa were never real close when they were growing up. I don't think Carlin really liked her. She was often mean and picked on her. Carlin would purposely trip her or make her fall down. I assume now that it's because Carlin was jealous of her. Alyssa is my shining star. She's always happy, she's always pleasant, she's accomplished lots in her life. It makes me angry that they've abandoned Alyssa. If you really want to do this to me, you know, so be it. But she really did nothing to deserve any of this.
Well, that was Jody, who says her eldest daughter, Carlin, is selfish, while her youngest daughter, Alyssa, is her shining star. So you're not proud of her?
Oh, I am proud of her.
How do you know? You haven't seen her in 12.5 years.
I do not know her as an adult. I know a few things about her from others, but...
How do you feel about that? Did you ever
it breaks my heart.
Did you ever think at this time in your life that you would be talking about your daughter and say, I don't even know anything about her as an adult?
Absolutely not.
We ask you all a lot of questions,
Absolutely.
and you've been very forthcoming. And I thought you were very honest and unfiltered, as were you. And
Thank you.
As were you, Terry. All of y'all were very forthcoming. So I got to pull an analysis of what descriptors you used for the two. Jody says her feud with Carlin started after the divorce, but it's hard to believe when you hear the way she talks about the differences between the two girls. When she's talking about Alyssa, she says, my shining star, always happy, pleasant, sees the brighter side of things, has such a big, bright, beautiful smile. You do have a beautiful smile.
Thank you.
Such a blessing to me and helped through the dark days. Always makes me smile and warms my heart. Always been very close, but divorce brought me even closer. Talk to her 3 or 4 times a day. When she visits, I just don't even want to let her leave.
It's true.
Yeah.
But she has 4 kids.
It's everybody's
I know that.
daughter you would want.
I know that.
Now, Carlin, you had a different set of adjectives for her. Very selfish and self-centered, always acted like an only child in a 4-child family, a princess, would never do anything to break a nail or a sweat, the boss of everyone.
She was. When they
Not
were little
true.
children, they'd go out to play in the
What
yard.
are you, her mini-me? Every time she says something,
No.
You said this all started with a divorce. I mean, you're describing her as a child, as being selfish, self-centered, a princess, boss of everyone.
When they'd go out to play when they were little, she'd line them up in the yard and a couple of the cousins, and she would say, okay, today we're playing Care Bears, and you be Funshine Bear, and you be this bear, and you be this bear. She even told them what bear they had to be, and they all said, okay.
We were kids
I
playing in the
understand that, but you
yard.
were always
dare
bossy.
you.
I know, right? Such a horrible person.
How dare you? I wanted to be Fun Bear.
Sorry.
It's just showing a personality
She was always bossy.
trait.
She was always in control and
So?
had to be the boss of everything.
So?
She just
So?
was. No, she just was.
So, what's your point?
They all followed her around and played whatever she wanted to play.
Okay, is
So
that-
she's always been bossy.
Or a leader?
That's
A leader.
yeah, maybe so. I don't know her as an adult. It's very sad. It's very sad.
Wow. You got a divorce.
I did. Thank God.
And I don't know. I didn't know your husband, and I know that you have described him in some very unflattering ways. But I don't know him, but I do know you got a divorce. Divorce is very difficult on children.
Yes, it is.
You were supportive of her decision during the divorce, correct? Mm-hmm. You've been supportive over the whole way. You and your brothers were shocked by it, you say. The
We were
divorce.
shocked.
You were brokenhearted by it and shocked by it,
We were shocked about how it started.
right? And it bothered you, and there was a hearing for a protective order,
Yes.
and you sided with your father about the protective order because you felt like
We
it was...
testified that the emergency order protection was untrue. There was no need for a domestic violence, restraining order, any of that. That was a shock.
Why? Why was there no need
We
for it?
never saw Dad hit Mom, punch Mom, never saw her with bruises. They'd argue, yes, but never physical violence. We never saw any of that. We never grew up with that.
Okay.
You did.
We did not.
You did grow up with that.
children don't really know everything there is to know about what happens between a husband and a wife. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard for them to make informed decisions. You don't know what she said to him or he said to her when you weren't around. You don't know what happened behind closed doors. You don't know everything that goes on in the interactions between a husband and wife. And oftentimes, that's by design. She might protect you from some of that awareness. He might protect you from some of that awareness. So for you to pass judgment about that, you're uninformed, and it's unfair for you to do that, to sit in judgment about that, which it's also unfair. It's why I say adults should not drag children into adult issues.
Exactly.
You should not have children at the time getting up and testifying, taking positions, taking sides, weighing in on things of that nature. It's just not right to do. It's difficult enough for children to watch their family fragment without putting them into the battle zone and having them make decisions where they feel like if I side with one, I'm betraying the other. And it's interesting that the one that you seem to be happiest with was coincidentally the one that supported you.
Correct. You can divorce your spouse. You don't divorce your kids. And I felt like she divorced all of us.
I did not divorce you. Carlin, you used to ask me, why do you stay married to him?
Yes.
You'd ask me that.
But you
don't understand, that doesn't matter. She's a child. At the time, she's a child.
And I have something else to say about protecting your children. If she's such a protector, when she first started dating Terry, we got into an argument, my mother and I. He stepped in, he threw me on the ground, grabbed my hair and grabbed my throat and threw me on the ground. She did nothing to protect me.
That's not true.
Is that because you went to punch him in the face and he was protecting himself?
That is not true.
All right, let's take a break. Up next, Jody says Carlin is the cause of all the family drama and has brainwashed her sons against her. Well, we're going to talk to one of those sons. He has a view, and we'll hear what it is when we come back.
I believe there are blatant lies being told here. My daughter Carlin, I feel, is the ringleader of the group. She rules what should or shouldn't happen, and the boys just follow her and do whatever she says. I think she is the main reason that they do not contact me as well.
I was most upset about my mother making false allegations against my dad about physical abuse and emotional abuse. There was never any physical abuse at all. I went with my brother to the house to try to talk to my mother about the situation. She didn't want to speak to us and told us that we needed to get off the property, otherwise she was going to call the cops on us. My mother never tried to even explain anything at all. She had kicked us out of the house. I was completely lost, emotionally hurt. I had noticed a major change in my mom to where she did not seem like that person that helped raise us. She was different. She just seemed like an evil person. I've only spoken to my mother maybe twice in the last 12 years. My mother is a person that I no longer know.
Blake, what do you want to see happen here?
I just want answers as far as, why everything happened, why, she's never tried to get into any contact with us, because when my parents did get divorced, Alyssa, my brother, and Carlin, we all stayed close. So Alyssa, with her still staying close to our mother, she could have given our mother our phone numbers.
You told me you didn't want me to give Mom your numbers.
I never said that one bit.
Whenever I would come over to see you guys or visit, and I would say, maybe you guys should go talk to Mom or something, or give her your number, and you guys would always say, drop it. No, we're not doing that. Yes, it is true, and you know it's true.
No, it's
you guys
not.
always did that, and it was so unfair. I tried so hard to keep it together with everybody, but you guys always just bashed everybody, and you refused to even give any information at all. And you know you refused to give information.
Let me just ask everybody here, and listen, just make a decision about this. I've said that you are a bunch of right fighters. Now, I just timed your response to 37 seconds. Is that how you want to spend your time here today?
No.
Do you want to spend your time with me on national television justifying yourself about whether he told her or you told him not to give somebody their phone number. Is that really how you want to spend your time?
I'm just saying, in response to his question, he's saying that we
because you need to set the record straight. You got to be right about this, right?
I am right.
Okay, just so we got it. So you're right.
No, I'm just saying, he was saying that we never tried to contact him, when in reality,
we're now passing 2 minutes. Keep going.
They didn't want us.
We can be talking about fixing things, but we're going to get you right. We're passing 2.5 minutes. Keep going.
Okay, I'll stop.
No, seriously, you want to be right. This is what you came for.
I don't want to be right.
You want everybody to know you're right when you go home.
I guess I want to get clarification, because I think that there is a lot of he said, she said, which, you know, and it was so long ago.
Clarification is that what you said is right.
I'm not saying I'm right.
Yes, you are. You spent the last 3 minutes now saying you're right.
I am saying
Don't you hate it when I'm right?
You are right.
No.
Well, I can play the tape back and we can listen to it again and you can get a stopwatch and time it.
I'm saying it's hard for me to listen to them say that she didn't contact them when
it's a mess.
It's
isn't
hard.
It?
It is. It's hard for me to hear them say that when I feel like that they didn't want anything to do with her. They were mad from the beginning. They were mad. That was the thing.
But you know, here's the problem. This is a big room, isn't it? You could fill it 10 times over with what you don't know about what you're talking about.
That may be.
It's not maybe. You don't know a damn thing about the dynamics of the impact of divorce and fragmented families on children at the time it happens. You know your experience of it.
Right.
But you don't know his experience of it. You don't know her experience of it. Listen, guys, come on. There's nothing you're going to say that is going to convince me that you as a mother are justified in not being a leader in this family and bringing everybody back together. You got a divorce. That's your decision. And it is your right to make it, and you do not need your children's approval to do it. You had to make a decision, and I'm not judging that decision. Have I asked you one question about that?
No.
I'm not asking you, was he really this way? Did he really do that? Did he really do the other? I'm not asking you about that. I'm not judging you about that. You had to make a decision. And what I know is your history, according to all of your children, those that are in contact with you now and those who aren't, is that you spent your life as a loving, devoted, and caring mother.
Thank you, I did.
That you nurtured him, that you nurtured his brother, that you nurtured her, that you nurtured her, that you sacrificed, that you did so much for your family. Agreed?
Yeah.
Agreed?
Kids.
Agreed.
Nobody questions that. So I can only assume that if you made a decision to exit this marriage, that it was after careful consideration and deliberation. I question how it was played out with these children. I question the fact that when they had a reaction to it, where they didn't side with you, agree with you, support you in it, that created a fracture that has gone on for 12 years. I made a list, just a partial list. This isn't an exhaustive list. It's just a partial list of what you have missed in the time that has gone on. 12 years of birthdays, Thanksgiving, Christmases, Easters, and Mother's Days. You missed Jordan's high school graduation. You missed Blake's wedding. You missed Carlin's 2 college graduations, Jordan's homecoming from Iraq and is going to Iraq, the birth of your grandson Andrew's surgery, the birth of a granddaughter, Liliana, Carlin's buying a house, Carlin's engagement, all of these things that you could and should be a central figure in have been passed because of a blow-up 12 and a half years ago. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it breaks my heart.
Does it make sense to you?
Goodness, no, it's never made sense.
Then why don't you lead this family out of this mess?
I'd love to.
What about
I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Why not lead this family out of this mess?
I would love to lead them out of this mess.
Why not forgive everybody for everything that's been done? Why not forgive yourself for what you've done? Why not ask forgiveness for things you may not have done? Why not just hit the reset button and start this thing over? You can't change what's happened. It seems to me that there comes a point where you just got to say, you know what? If, God forbid, you know what a fine young man you have here?
I do.
Contributing member of society. This is a really fine young man you have here. Can you imagine if, God forbid, something catastrophic happens to one of these children? And what you say is, well, they're now gone forever, and I spent the last 12 and a half years out of no contact because I didn't like what happened during a short period of time of emotional upheaval in our family that they didn't ask for. They hooked their wagons to our stars as mother and father. We ran it off in the ditch.
Right.
They got caught up in the crossfire. I didn't like the choices they made, whether it was abandoning me, turning their back, whatever you call it. And now they're gone.
There's not a day goes by I don't think about him or pray for him.
I've been wanting to know, how do you sleep at night? When you don't
Really, you really think this is the time to attack this woman?
No, I've asked
You really
that.
think, given the rhetoric that we're embracing here and where I'm taking this, you think that the next reasonable comment is, how do you sleep at night, woman?
That's what I had asked her before. She said that she's think about it, so I've wondered if she has.
Every day. Every day.
Coming up, Jody is closer to Blake's ex-wife than she is to her own son. We're going to find out why when we come back, and I'm going to tell you why I think this thing has veered off so badly. You're going to be surprised what I think the catalyst is.
Even after all the incidents that occurred, even though Alyssa lived with Jody, we all kept in touch with Alyssa. I was very close to Alyssa. We were the two youngest of the kids. Blake invited both Jody and Alyssa at his wedding. He wanted his family there. I talked to Alyssa several times, and she gave me every excuse in the book. I explained to her my ultimatum: if you don't go to your brother's wedding, as much as it hurt me to say, I won't speak to you after this. I just can't comprehend how you couldn't go to your own brother's wedding. Alyssa feels she's an only child because her brothers and sisters are trash. That hurt even more. That just cemented everything. For her to disown the rest of us, it's a slap in the face.
I never thought they were trash. I never said that. I don't believe that.
Yeah. So that's how he thinks.
And
It's a
it's
shame.
sad.
It's a shame.
Very
They've
sad.
seen posts on Facebook. That's why that's
not
why
even
we
friends with
believe
me on
that. We don't believe it
Facebook.
for no reason.
I don't think so on Facebook.
How's this going for you so far?
Interesting.
You know what's going to happen? Y'all are going to leave here in a few minutes, and you're going to all go backstage, and you may actually bond in standing against me, which would be okay. Because you can go backstage and say, well, that didn't go like I thought it was. I thought he was going to help us, and all he did was pick on us. Yeah, I'm trying to shake this up because you're on self-destruct here.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely on self-destruct. Do y'all believe in the power of language? You know what I mean when I say the power of language? Words are powerful, aren't they? And I listen to everything y'all say in your interviews. I read everything you say in your interviews. Everything. Every word. And a pattern jumped out at me. You guys have a way of using catastrophic language to describe non-catastrophic events. You're talking about it, you say, the straw that broke the camel's back. They went behind my back to steal me blind. I was devastated. You were devastated?
I was devastated.
You were just devastated. What is devastated? Is that where, like, your body parts fall off of you and you're laying it? Oh, come on. I'm serious. Devastated? They dropped off the face of the earth. My children dropped off the face of the earth. I hate it when that happens. The world's just turning around and people are just falling off of the earth. They're not my daughters anymore. Whose daughters are they? I didn't know there was a window to go to where you could say, I'm turning these in. I want a reissue here. I probably would have done it a few times if I thought you could. And you call myself an only child, turned her back on us. It's like putting your head in a piranha tank.
Yeah.
Seriously? Have you ever seen piranhas
They go
attack a
after you,
bleeding
man.
animal?
They go after you.
It's like putting your head in a piranha tank. You mess with her, you're going to feel her wrath. You're going to get an earful. It's torn all apart. They have just ripped our family to pieces, just ripped it to pieces. I mean, you just pull around, there's hair, teeth, and eyes everywhere. Oh, my God. They've ripped our family to pieces. They've turned on her. You are the ringleader.
I guess.
You are the ringleader. And you're better. Mom is dead to me. Turned our world upside down. Threw my things out of the house. I saw them stacked in the driveway. They looked like they had been neatly stacked in the driveway. It didn't look like they had been thrown out of there in a frenzy. They threw my brothers out. You can throw him out? I
didn't throw anybody out.
Blake says, kicked us out. She is an evil person. No longer knows who she is, like they couldn't pick you out of a lineup. Brothers and sisters are trash, he says. Jordan says it's like a slap in the face. Just a slap in the face. Come on, guys, do you wonder why you're all so upset? This is melodramatic, catastrophic language. Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down. You're not devastated.
I was when it first happened.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You remained vertical. You remained coherent. You could talk. You are now.
I cried in bed for a couple days. But
You were sad.
I was sad.
That's what it was.
A lot of this is going to come back and be laid at your feet.
Exactly.
Don't help me, Jesus.
I'm just saying, I agree with you.
The last conversation I had with Carlin, she had phoned me and wanted to know if she could get photos I'd had of all the children as they were growing up. That was really all I had to hang on to, and I was not willing to give them up. They were the only happy memories I had left. They'd taken everything else. Carlin said, well, I am your daughter. And I told her, you're not my daughter. My daughter would not treat me this way. That was the last I heard from Carlin.
Well, Jody says she doesn't consider Carlin her daughter anymore. Carlin says her mother is dead to her. Now, Jody...
Can I correct that?
Sure.
I didn't say that she is dead. I said
Oh,
that...
yes, you did.
No. I said that it's like she's dead, but it's worse because she's not dead, but she doesn't care to be there for her kids.
That's better?
It's worse.
I raised them alone for almost 10 years. I don't understand how this could have happened. I don't know how it went from not speaking.
Does it matter?
No, but I don't know how it got so out of control.
If you start taking inventory, you're not going to like it because you're the boss. You're the mother. You're the parent. You're the one that sets the tone, guides through the maze. So a lot of this is going to come back and be laid at your feet.
Exactly.
Don't help me, Jesus.
I'm just saying, I agree with you. I agree with you. That's how it should be. So how do we fix this? Or is it fixable?
Maybe 12 and a half years is not long enough.
You feel my pain?
No, seriously. You have...
I agree.
You have really bad timing.
Okay.
You know, my dad used to tell me, boy, don't you ever miss a good chance to shut up. Okay?
But you're saying how I feel. What you're saying is how I feel.
My dad used to say, boy, don't ever miss a good chance to shut up. Then what you should do is just bask in that quietly.
Okay.
What you want to do right now is stop talking.
Okay.
Okay? Because I'm trying to make some progress here and you're not helping.
Okay.
Every situation needs a hero.
I don't know how this went from one day to a month to a year to 2, 3, 4. I don't know how it got so out of control. Please, can we start over?
Let me tell you something. You want to know something about her?
Absolutely.
She has a really good heart. And she really loves you a lot. She even loves you a lot. And she misses you. a lot. And there are parts of life that you can only share in a meaningful way with your own people. And extended family is very, very important when children are growing up. You know, to learn that somebody loves them besides just their mom and dad. You know, there's like grandparents and aunts and uncles that they can feel safe with. It's how they begin to expand their radius in life. It's how they learn, you know, that they can go further and do good things. And this guy that you guys are kind of demonizing down here, all he ever had the audacity to do was love your mother. He's not trying to be your dad. He just loves your mother. And you know, I've just always had a soft spot for people that loved my children, my family. Somebody's good to my family. I always felt a kind of a kindness to people that were good to my family. And he's been a soft place for your mother to fall. He didn't ask for any of this. I am just asking you guys to hit a reset button here. Every situation needs a hero that just says, look, I don't know how we got in this mess. I probably made some mistakes in the way that this unfolded. Perhaps I misread y'all's readiness for this divorce. Perhaps you got too involved in it. And maybe I got my feelings hurt and y'all got your feelings hurt. And I don't know where the first link in that chain was, but I know where the link is that I am now. And I'm extending an olive branch. I just want to love y'all and be loved by y'all. And you know how you do it? You start out by having some boundaries. You start out by saying, let's all get together in a public place where perhaps we'll have some inhibition to having a throwdown. And the boundary is we're not going to talk about anything that's happened. We're just going to be in the moment. We're just going to be in the moment and enjoy each other's company and see the kids and just have a non-judgmental good time. And then we're going to try to build on that. And I am more than happy to bring some professionals in here that can kind of unravel this ball of yarn behind closed doors for y'all individually and collectively to help bring some peace to this situation.
Thank you.
But it begins with somebody standing up and saying, this situation needs a hero, and since I'm the mom, it's going to be me. Because I say enough is enough. It's time that we start loving each other up again, and I'm going to be the first one to extend that offer. And that's my suggestion.
Thank you.
To you. Not because it's your fault, not because you have any bigger role into anybody else, although I believe you do because you're the parent, but just because somebody has to, and it might as well be you.
Absolutely. I love you, Carlin, and I love you, Blakely, both. I never have not loved you. Please, can we start over? I don't know how this went from one day to a month to a year to 2, 3, 4. I don't know how it got so out of control, but I would like it to end. Absolutely.
I want to end this, and
I do want to end this.
I want to end it.
Will you accept that offer?
Yes, I'll accept it.
Will you accept that offer?
I'll accept the offer.
And just a step, I'm not saying just a step at a time. A step at a time. Fair enough?
Yeah, it's fair.
And I will get help to facilitate beyond that step.
Thank you.
Make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, coming up, tips for parents when talking to their kids about divorce. We'll be right back. You know, we've been talking about divorce, and I want to give you some tips about talking to your children if a divorce is imminent. First, you need to be as honest with them as possible, but you have to do it in an age-appropriate way. And I know that term gets used a lot, but it just really means you don't take them into concepts they don't understand. And you need to acknowledge their feelings. And so what are they? Well, they're going to be scared. They're going to be confused. And children always have a way of figuring out how things are their fault in some way. They might hear mom and dad arguing about money, for example, and you could be arguing about mortgage payments or something really big, but they'll go sit on their bed and say, wow, if I didn't need $11.80 for school pictures, maybe mom and dad wouldn't be getting a divorce. They do have a way of figuring out how it's their fault, so you have to acknowledge those feelings. Be fair when talking about the other parent. It doesn't help you if they don't have a relationship with their other parent. That will come back to haunt you. Let them know they didn't cause this in any way whatsoever. Tell them their parents love them, even though their feelings for each other may have changed. But let them know that both parents love them very, very much. I'll have more information about all this on drphill.com. I appreciate you guys being here today and talking about this, and I am going to provide some help and guidance after this, but take it a step at a time. It doesn't matter. In the final analysis, it doesn't matter who said what to who back when. What matters is where you go from here. Not even God can change what has happened.
Right.
What you need to focus on is where you are now and what will happen. So we'll be working on this. Thanks for being here. So long.
Today on Dr. Phill.
I haven't seen my dad for 2 years, and I want to confront him.
Her father doesn't suspect.
Can I hug my daughter?
No, you're not going to hug me.
The bombshell she's about to drop.
I know you have paid someone to kill Shannon.
What is wrong with you, girl?
Did you hire a hitman to kill your daughter?
Hell no.
She says you went by the house and shot it up with a gun.
I did not do it, and don't ask me anymore.
I'll ask you what I want to ask you. Why is it upsetting for you to hear this?
It's a lie.
If you was my girl at home, you'd be getting your ass kicked.
You'll probably have me murdered after this.
Why would I kill you when I love you? And
You do not love me!
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
In 5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. On August 3rd, 2009, 40-year-old Shannon was found dead in her car at the bottom of a cliff on Walker Trail in Sevierville, Tennessee. Initially, the Highway Patrol ruled Shannon's death as a tragic accident. But 2 days later, based on the autopsy report, the sheriff ruled Shannon's death a homicide. The case still remains unsolved.
With her sister's ring on her finger and picture hanging above, Shannon Hurcutt is never far from Penny Stevens' mind.
It's been a nightmare.
On August 3rd, 2009, Hurcutt's body was discovered in her SUV at the bottom of a county embankment. What appeared to be an accident turned into a murder investigation, one that remains unsolved.
At first, investigators thought her SUV had gone off the road in an accident, but an autopsy revealed she had been beaten in the head at her home before she was put in her vehicle.
But that is where her story stalls.
we haven't ruled out anybody in this case. Everybody's suspect.
Hurcutt's murder is still unsolved.
We only have one chance to prove who murdered Shannon. Justice will be served.
Shannon's sister Penny and Father Ted both say they knew from the beginning that this was no traffic accident. But that is the only opinion they share. Now, while Ted says he suspects someone in the community of killing her, Penny is pointing her finger at someone a little closer to home.
When I heard about my sister's death, my first thought was my dad had this done. The police told us she lost control of her car and went over a cliff. 3 days after the accident, the police went to her house, and in her garage, they found evidence of a struggle.
There was broken bottles with the baseball bat and blood on the refrigerator. That's when they realized it was a homicide. My dad has told me if he ever wanted to get rid of someone, he knew how to get the job done. I believe that my dad murdered my sister because he thought he was going to get her business when she died. In his state of mind, Shannon was a problem, and that problem needed to be fixed. I truly believe that my father has paid someone to kill my sister and make it look like an accident. 3 months after her death, my dad shot up her business with a .22. One day I confronted him, and he looked at me and said, "Yes, I did, and I'm proud of it." My dad is cold-hearted, controlling, and if you're in his way, watch out. My dad is very sick, and I can't let him get away with this if he truly has done this to my sister.
Okay, Penny, I'm glad to meet you. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm very sorry for the occasion of our conversation. You believe that your own father, the man that gave birth to you and your sister,
Yes.
you believe that your father has murdered your sister.
He had someone murder her, yes.
You believe this is a murder for hire.
Yes.
You believe that he hired a hitman
Yes.
to go in and murder your sister.
Yes.
And you believe this person went in and bashed her head in with a baseball bat and placed her in the car and made it look like an accident.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yet he walks free today.
Oh, yeah. And I fear for my life 24/7 because I just know how he is. And I got a part of my sister's business, and he's all about money and greed.
All right, now he's here today. Your father's here today. He's not watching this part of the show. We have him in the green room, and he has no idea that you are going to look him in the eye and accuse him of murder. You're not speaking to him right now. You two haven't talked for a couple of years.
Right. Deep in my heart, he knows I know, but he thinks I'm too weak to stand up and confront him.
You want this on national television. You want people to know because it makes it harder for them to come after you now.
Yes.
When you found out about this, you were where?
I was in Myrtle Beach. With my dad, his wife at the time, and my 11-year-old daughter.
Okay, so your father was not in town. He was with you in Myrtle Beach, which is how far away?
A good 6 hours, I do believe.
Okay, so he personally certainly had an alibi because he was with you.
Right.
6 hours away. You think that's an accident? You think he did that on purpose?
He did it on purpose.
How did you react when you heard about your sister's death?
Right away, I knew it was a murder, and I knew my dad had something to do with it.
But he's on record of saying he didn't think this was an accident and he thought there should be an investigation.
But he's a pathological liar. He always has been.
And you have no proof. You just have a feeling.
My gut feeling.
You understand, this is a very serious allegation. You're getting ready to go on national television to accuse your father of murder.
I know, and I hate it with a passion. But I've been living in fear for 5 years.
Well, Penny's father is here, and she's going to reveal her suspicions, her allegations, her accusations to him right here after the break.
I want to tell my dad how I've been feeling. I believe that my dad murdered my sister, and he's going to be shocked, and he's going to be furious when he hears it. And I'm going to fear for my life after I tell him.
Coming up.
I know you have paid someone to kill Shannon.
As of right now, the reward to find the murderer for my sister is $45,000. So far, no one's come forward. I haven't seen my dad for 2 years, and I want to confront him. I truly believe that my father has paid someone to kill my sister.
Penny's 40-year-old sister, Shannon, was found dead in her car at the bottom of a cliff on August 3rd, 2009. The case, which was ruled a homicide, is still unsolved to this day. But Penny feels, she says in her gut, that her father did something to harm her sister. Now, the something, it bothers me when people say, I think he had something to do with it. The something that she says he had to do with it was hire a hitman to bash her sister's head in, kill her, and cover it up to make it look like an accident. While Penny's father, Ted, doesn't know about her suspicions, he admits he was questioned by authorities after Shannon's death, but insists he was not involved, he had nothing to do with it.
At the time of Shannon's death, we were not getting along. There was a lawsuit, and she included me in it. I was angry. She was always having her attorney send me letters and threatening me. When Shannon died, our feelings were still bitter. I was at Myrtle Beach when I got the phone call that Shannon died. He told me that Shannon had an accident and she was dead. And I lost it. She didn't have a seatbelt on, and right away I said, something's wrong. That's not Shannon. The investigators came to the conclusion that Shannon was murdered. The person that killed her was trying to make it look like an accident. She had a large gash in the back of her head where she was hit in the head with a ball bat. I was considered a suspect, but I was never charged for her murder. I was not involved in my daughter's murder. I love my daughter. Just because we were in a feud, I would not kill my daughter. About 3 months after Shannon's murder, someone shot up her business with a gun. I was never asked or questioned or anything about it. I think I read it in the paper. I don't know who did that. I lost one daughter through death, and I lost my other daughter, Penny, through just a bad relationship. She doesn't want anything to do with me. I hope we get this resolved.
Well, as I said, Ted is actually here. He has not been listening to the show up to this point, but he's joining us now. So, Ted, come on out. Ted, Dr. Phill, good to meet you, sir.
My pleasure, Dr. Phill.
Have a seat.
Can I hug my daughter?
No, you're not going to hug me.
Let me say, first off, I'm very sorry for your loss. I know it's been a while, but just dad to dad, I cannot imagine the pain of burying one of your children. It's a natural order of things. I just can't imagine.
Worst thing a man could ever go through, a father.
And when you learned about this, what was your initial thought and reaction?
On Shannon's murder, I was in Myrtle Beach with my ex-wife and my daughter Penny and my granddaughter. And my ex-son-in-law called, because he was a policeman, and said, Ted, Shannon was in a terrible accident and she died.
Good acting, Dad.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't talk.
And at that point, you believed it was an accident?
Yes. But then the State Highway Patrol called me when we was on our way home and says that Shannon had her window down and no seatbelt on. And I told him, I said, something's wrong.
Well, let me ask you something. What is it you're here to say to your father? Look him in the eye and say to him what you want to say to him.
I know you have paid someone to kill Shannon. And don't sit there and act like you're so innocent. And then you admitted to me that you shot up Annie Bellum's.
I don't know where you're getting your story. I have been
You're really
cleared
good,
by the
Dad.
sheriff's department.
He's lying. He's a pathological liar, and he knows he is.
What is wrong with you, girl? I have never lied. Because liars always get caught in lies.
And you're gonna get caught, Dad.
Yeah. Penny, you have really got a very, very serious problems. I have invited you over for mushroom dinners twice. You have refused.
We're not here to talk about dinner. We're here to talk about murder. If you believe he murdered your sister, then you need to tell him, and you need to tell him why you believe that. Look, let's take a break here. Penny says she feels her father, Ted, was motivated by money to kill her sister, Shannon, and the alleged proof is how Shannon handled her will. We'll talk about that right after the break.
I don't know where you dream this stuff up at, but you really are doing a damn good job of it. And if you was my girl at home, you'd be getting your ass kicked.
You'll probably have me murdered after this. That's what.
Why would I kill you when I love you and I still love you?
You do not love me! My sister Shannon was a very successful businesswoman. My dad thought he was in her will. Then after she was murdered, he found out she had taken him out. He was furious. I witnessed his anger. I'm not real sure why she took him out of the will, but I know they were arguing and fighting at the time of her death.
It is not true that I thought I was going to be in Shannon's will. Anybody would say that I would kill my daughter for money or crazy because I had money.
I believe money was the motivation for him to kill her.
Well, I'm here with Penny and Ted, and I'm talking to them about the death of Ted's other daughter, Shannon. Investigators say Shannon first was the victim of a terrible car accident going down a 125-foot ravine. Now, autopsy changed the whole case, and it went from accident to homicide. It's still unsolved. Penny says that for years she has suspected her father, Ted, was behind Shannon's death, and the motive was money. Now, you say the motive was money because you say he believed that he was in her will and was going to inherit a substantial amount of a substantial fortune.
At the time of the will, when Dad found out everything, he was furious.
Well, the first will was drawn in 2003, correct?
Yeah.
And it said that she bequeathed essentially all of her properties and that 29% of this was to go to Ted, correct?
Yeah.
That was in 2003. But then a second will was done in 2006, at which time it said, "It is my specific intent that neither my father Ted nor his spouse inherit anything from my estate." And this is what you say he learned about at the time and became outraged.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
Did you believe you were in her will?
No, first I've ever seen that.
Were you outraged when you found out you were not in the will?
No, I was not outraged. I had money. I did not need my daughter's money. Matter of fact, Shannon told me that, "Dad, I want to put you half on my business, that you own half of it." I said, "No, Shannon, I don't want that."
Why is it upsetting for you to hear this?
It's all lies. It's all lies.
How do you know that it's lies?
I just know it is. When he found out I was involved in Shannon's will, which I never knew, he thought he would use me to get back at my cousin that has the business now.
Right now, I can see, Penny, you are a very, very sick lady, and you really need some help.
I do need some help, Dad. That's why I'm here at Dr. Phill.
And accuse me of murdering your sister, my daughter?
After Shannon was murdered, and me and my daughter came up to see you afterwards, and we were walking out to leave, and before we left, you said, honey, I just want you to know Aunt Shannon brought this on herself. Like you were telling her you're sorry that you did it. Why would you say something to an 11-year-old?
I don't know where you dream this stuff up at, but you really are doing a damn good job of it. And if you was my girl at home, you'd be getting your ass kicked.
No, you'll probably have me murdered after this. That's what.
You are crazy, girl.
It's okay.
Why would I
was prepared for this, Dad.
Why would I
this.
kill you when I love you and I still love you?
You do not love me!
You're crazy. You are absolutely crazy.
You never loved Mom. You never loved Shannon. Never loved me. You know it.
I love
and
you,
it
Mom.
got worse after you and Mom divorced. You always said
the divorce. I didn't get a divorce, my wife. I got to divorce you. You fought me more than your mother did.
Oh, that's
Oh, huh? How about
You're
going?
such a psycho.
Well, let me ask you something. She says she's been afraid of you for a long time. She says that when she was younger, she was bothered by a teacher, and you went by the teacher's house and shot it up with a gun. Did you do that?
No. I don't know what you...
Did you do that, and did you then tell her about that and tell her if she told anybody you'd kill her?
No.
Did he tell you if you told anybody he'd kill you?
Yes, he told me, you better not say it or you'll be next.
You are such a liar.
Did you shoot up a teacher's house?
No, I did not.
Did you shoot through a window?
No.
Did you take a gun and go shoot up your daughter's business?
No, I did not. Penny knows that Shannon had a whole lot of enemies.
Well, I'm not asking about her enemies. I'm asking about you.
No, I did
Did you go
not.
shoot up your daughter's business?
No, I did not. I was not ever questioned about it.
Well, I didn't ask you your question. You're being questioned about it now.
Yes, but I mean, by the law enforcement, I've never been questioned about it.
Did you hire a hitman to kill your daughter?
Hell no.
Ted's estranged third wife has something to say about this case. We're going to hear why she claims she is afraid of this man she married. And she was only married to him for 3 weeks. And, well, that's right. And he got an annulment. It wasn't her, it was him. He got an annulment because he said he found out things about her that he did not know. We'll be right back.
After we were married, I discovered that Ted had a dark side. I do believe Ted is responsible for his daughter's murder.
Penny and her father, Ted, haven't seen each other or spoken to each other in 2 years until today. Now, Penny threw her father a shocking curveball earlier when she revealed that she thought he was behind her sister's 2009 murder. Now, what that means very specifically is she says she thinks he hired a hitman that went to his daughter, bashed her head in with a baseball bat in the garage, then put her in the car and pushed it or drove it over a cliff. It went down 125 feet and initially was considered an accident, but now is considered an open homicide case. Ted vehemently denies having any involvement in his daughter's death. And let me be very clear. I have not seen or heard one shred of evidence from Penny or anyone else that he had anything to do with his daughter's death. I'll be very clear about that. I haven't seen a shred of evidence about that. I've just heard allegations. Now, Ted's estranged third wife, Jan, supports Penny's suspicions of Ted. Maybe she has some evidence that this man hired a hitman to murder his daughter. But Ted says he was only married to Jan for 3 weeks before he threw in the towel on the marriage. Here's what Jan has to say.
6 months ago, Ted and I were only married for 3 weeks. After we were married, I discovered that Ted had a dark side. I do believe Ted is responsible for his daughter's murder. I think that because he told me he knew details of her murder that only the person involved would know. He knew how the murderers hid outside and how they got into her garage. Ted told me that she was hit in the back of the head with a baseball bat. He told me that there were 3 people that murdered his daughter. 3 months after Shannon's murder, somebody went to her business and shot up the business. He told me he was the one that shot up the business. Ted told me that if I had told anybody, that he would make me disappear. I'm scared to be here, but I'm here anyway. If anything happens to me, I want you guys to know that I came freely and willingly because I want peace in my life, and I don't want to be threatened anymore. I believe Ted is that dangerous.
Jan, thank you for joining us and being here. You were married for 3 weeks to him.
Correct.
And then he asked for an annulment.
No, I kicked him out of my house.
You kicked him out?
Yes.
Okay, well, we've got a little timeline here of this marriage because, I mean, it's a very short timeline. You got married on June 27th of 14.
Yes.
Then you separate on 7/21 of 2014. That's when you said you kicked him out.
Correct.
And the plaintiff discovered the defendant had a prior criminal history. He discovered that you had a criminal history.
I told him that in the beginning because he even said he told me he had
No,
a
you didn't.
Further,
we sat
he
right there at the table, and I told you.
Yeah,
he said further, he has
liar.
discovered that you had forged his name on a checking account and that you had placed unauthorized charges on his personal credit cards.
That's not right because he told me when we were dating, my debts were his debts.
Well, he said you jacked him for $8,400.
He's a liar. Yeah, you're a liar.
You're nothing but a damn con. You con your first husband, you con your second one.
Listen, maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but I kind of always believed that when you got married, it wasn't his money and her money, it was just our money. I've been married 38 years, and I don't have any of my money. It's kind of like noon the first day. It was our money, which was just, and that apparently worked out because I've been at it for 38 years. Here's my point. He may be the biggest ass in the world. I don't know. I don't know you, so I'm not saying that. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that he behaves like a jerk. That is a long way from hiring a hitman to kill your child. So what is it that you know about him? What behavior did you see? What evidence do you have that says this man is involved in a murder for hire plot?
He told me that he had shot up Shannon's business. And he told me what he shot it up with. He told me he took plates off of a vehicle that looked like his and put them on his, and that way they wouldn't know it was him.
So he told you he did that?
Yes, he did.
Did you tell her you did that?
No, I did not.
I'm not saying you did or didn't, but did you say you did?
No, I did not.
Why would she say you did?
Because she lost the goose that laid the golden egg. It was paying her damn way. She's fixing to lose her home, her car, and she is pissed. And she's nothing but a damn liar and a thief.
So he told you that he went up and shot her business. Was it a specific gun?
It was a .22.
A .22?
Yes.
Okay, and then was there an occasion when the county was looking to find out if that gun existed and if he owned a gun?
Penny had sent him a text and said, Dad, the Pigeon Forge police are coming here for the guns. You need to get here and get them because I don't want to be responsible. And he jumped in his truck and he took off as fast as he could go to get to Pigeon Forge to get those guns as fast as he could. He said to me, while he was on his way there, he knew he was being set up by Penny. I just knew it. I just knew I was being set up. He got those guns, brought them back to my house. I said, I don't want those guns in my house.
Did that gun include the .22?
I think it did, yes, because the guns were, he sold the guns. Did that happen?
Did you race over there to get the guns?
Yeah, Penny wanted them out of there because those guns actually didn't really belong to me. I wanted to get them out. And because the guns that I had there, the woman stole my...
Why did you want to get them out?
Shut up.
Why did you want to get them out?
Why? Because she demanded I got them out.
Well, now, wait a minute. You were informed that the police were coming to get the guns.
No. No.
Yes, you were.
You didn't know the
She
police
just wanted me to get that and anything that I had in the house.
So you didn't know the police were coming to get the guns?
No. So your whole deal, you and Jan, are here to have me convicted of murdering my daughter.
I don't know what her deal is.
I don't either. You know, she doesn't even have a dog in this damn fight. Not one at all. Just as she lost the goose that laid the golden egg for you, and you got it.
You weren't no goose at all.
I know.
At least a goose could do something.
Yeah. This goose ain't giving your ass any more money, I can tell you that right now.
You're a liar.
I think the liar is over on the other side with the other liar.
Did he tell you that he knew how to get rid of people?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
He told me if I had told anybody that about the shooting, he would get rid of me the same as he's gotten rid of other people, and they could disappear real fast without even being missed.
You're full of I never said such thing to you.
Did you say that he hired, quote, a black guy to harass you?
Yes, he did. He would call him up. He worked for him.
He called you one time
He called
because...
me 3 times.
Well, I sure as hell don't know about it. And when you text back, if you call here again, I'll have you arrested. I told him, don't you ever call that bitch back again, because that's exactly what you are, is a bitch.
Really?
Well, Jan says Ted actually reenacted the crime scene for her once. We'll talk about that when we come back.
I did not do it. Don't ask me no more. But we
I'll
were
ask
here.
you what I want to ask you. Don't tell me what not to ask you.
I'm sorry.
The hell you...
I'm sorry.
As a kid, my dad shot up a teacher's house and took me by it and showed me what he had done. My dad also would put poison in raw hamburger and throw it into neighbors' yards. The dogs would eat it, they would die. He's a very evil person.
Well, I'm talking to father and daughter Ted and Penny, who haven't seen or spoken to each other in 2 years. Penny's sister Shannon was murdered in 2009, and their relationship hasn't been the same since, especially since Penny has always thought Ted had a hand in Shannon's death. Specifically, she thinks he hired a hitman to murder her sister. Now, Ted's estranged wife, Jan, says he even reenacted the crime scene for her once. Tell me what you mean.
He took me to where the truck was parked. He told me it was a blue truck. He told me that there were 3 people, that they got out. He showed me where they walked, how they walked through, that they hid by the bushes. When the garage door went up, they went in there.
They hid in the bushes by her house.
Yes. And in fact, about the teacher, you told me you did that, and you not told me you did it once, you told me you did it twice.
You have spent a whole lot of time discussing a story with Penny, haven't you, dear?
I never met Penny until Friday.
You two are, and you're here as her friend? Oh,
yes.
my God.
Wait a minute.
Nobody said a friend.
Never met her before.
Well, get over your shock of that. You did shoot up the teacher's house, though, right?
I didn't do nothing illegal. I am as honest
But the
as me.
statute of limitations is run on that.
I
mean, come on.
I have not done nothing.
You didn't scare a teacher that was really being inappropriate with your daughter?
No.
I mean, nobody could blame.
I'm not the only person you told that to.
Did you tell people you did it?
No.
You never even told anybody you did it? Even if you didn't do it, you never told anybody you did it?
No.
You didn't tell neighbors you did it? You didn't tell Jan did it? You didn't tell your daughter you did it? There's a lot of people that don't even know each other that say you did it.
I thought that we were here.
I'm just asking you if you told
I did not
people
do
you
it,
did
and don't ask me no more. But we
I'll
were
ask
here.
you what I want to ask you. Don't tell me what not to ask you.
I'm sorry.
The hell you...
I'm sorry.
I'm being nice. I'm asking you legitimate questions here. I'm just asking, did you even tell people you did it?
No, I did not. I did not do it.
Did you shoot up your daughter's place of business?
No.
I'm giving you a chance to answer the questions.
Yeah, I've been asked several times now. I'm kind of
I will take a lie detector test. Will you?
And I'll take a polygraph test too, would you?
You know what, I would like to take a polygraph test. Yes, I'd take a polygraph test because I did not kill my daughter.
Would you take one right here, right now at Dr. Phil's show?
Yeah.
I don't care. I did not kill my daughter. And those would be the questions I would answer to. I did not kill my daughter.
And you knew nothing about her murder. You had nothing to plan it with.
No. You know, I don't know where in the hell you're coming from. Even got a dog in this fight. Besides, you're nothing but a damn gold digger.
If I was a gold digger, I would have stuck on to you.
No,
Because you can't do anything else.
When you said get out, you thought I knew about you charging on my credit cards.
You knew it.
No, I did not do it.
They even told me that
if I knew it, then how come did they give me all my money back? They gave me every damn penny of it, and you're pissed.
Did you ever take a polygraph test?
No.
Were you asked to take a polygraph test?
Yes, you were.
When?
The sheriff's department asked you.
They told me they already know, and I did not kill my daughter.
We're going to take a break here, and I'm going to come back, and I want to speak to this father and daughter. Maybe it's the last time they'll ever be together. I don't know. So I'm gonna thank Jan for her time and contribution here. When we come back, I'm gonna speak to this father and daughter alone, just at a family level. And as we go to break, let's take a moment to remember 40-year-old Shannon, who lost her life on August 3rd, 2009.
Shannon was a very motivated person. She loved to have fun, loved to joke. She loved to smile and laugh. She was always the life of the party.
She was very beautiful. She had a very beautiful smile. Just an enjoyable person altogether. I miss Shannon. She was really the love of my life. I miss her very much.
Well, Penny, Ted, look, I don't know what has happened to Shannon. It's been a number of years. There has been a lot of investigative efforts towards this. The case is still open. I hope what we're doing here today will keep a bright light over this case. And
I just want to be protected from him or anybody else. I fear for my life.
Well, I certainly think after this show, I would think that he would be nervous that you would even sprain an ankle, because I think people would certainly be all over him if anything happened to you. He better hope nobody does anything to you, because he would sure be in a pickle. If they did, he would be the prime suspect. I know that you have a lot of unfinished emotional business with your father. There's a lot of open wounds that you have with your dad. I don't know whether your father hired someone to kill your sister or not. I have to assume he didn't, because I see absolutely no evidence that you had any involvement in her death whatsoever. I just see no evidence to that. I know that you have a lot of unfinished emotional business with him. You did describe him in a lot of ways. You said that he was always very critical of you, that he wanted boys, not girls. He criticized you for being fat. He just blamed you for the divorce. There's been a lot of dysfunction in this family. I think your father's been under attack here today. There's been accusations made against him, and he kind of kept his cool for a little while, and then I think he showed his teeth some here and showed that he can go from zero to jerk in like 1.3 seconds if somebody pushes his buttons, and I think he's not always the easiest person in the world to live with. So I think you're in a lot of pain, and I think you need some help with that, and I want to get you some help with that. You've gotten this off your chest. He knows how you feel here, and I hope you'll be patient in this and hope that this relationship can be healed in some way.
She hated Shannon because Shannon was a successful businesswoman, and she was not. Shannon was a slender girl. Well, Shannon took care of herself.
Yeah, I appreciate you pointing that out, and I'm certain that that's very comforting to her that you remind her of that contrast, and I think that's a very insensitive thing for you to do. That is unkind. Stop talking. A reward of $45,000 is being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of a person or persons involved in the homicide of Shannon. $25,000 came from the state of Tennessee, and $20,000 is being offered from Shannon's estate. If you have any information, please call the Sevierville County Sheriff's Department at 865-453-4668. We'll also have a link on our website today. I want to thank all of my guests for being here today, and we hope someone will be brought to justice here, and we hope there will be some healing in this family and relationship. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Thanks so much.